Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and welcome back to another TMNT 2012 cartoon review, or episode review, I should say. And today we're going to be taking a look at episode number 10. Yes, we've made it all the way to episode number 10, or review number 10, titled Panic in the Sewers. At least that's what it was titled in North America, and titled Mojo Rising everywhere else. And this was a very, very cool episode, in my opinion, at least, especially the way that it opens up. Basically, the episode opens up with a nightmare sequence where it seems like the Shredder is taking out turtles left and right. And honestly, at first, it doesn't even seem like a dream or anything like that. At first, you're like, what the hell? Whoa, this is quite a way to start the episode. And I thought it might be one of those episodes, where they show you the end of the episode or somewhere in the middle of the episode, and then they kind of go back and slowly get up to that point. But then you see that, you start realizing that's a nightmare sequence. And at first, I honestly thought it was going to be Leonardo's nightmare sequence, to where he's like, okay, I'm going to start to question his ability to lead and everything. But all of a sudden, you realize that it's actually a nightmare sequence from Splinter, who has this horrible dream about basically all the turtles being killed off by Shredder. And then the way that he decides to react to that is that he's like, okay, well, then I'm going to need to train these guys more to make sure that we can avoid any type of sequences like this happening. And basically, he puts the turtles, I guess, like in house arrest or something like that, where the turtles now have to train 24/7, and they get exhausted to the point where they just cannot perform anymore and everything. But then all of a sudden, they realize that they might be in danger from Shredder and everything. So as they go discovering and everything, they actually face off against Dogpound for the very first time, who gets named by Michelangelo in this episode. So cool little thing here. Of course, in the last episode, we saw Dogpound and Fishface, but they weren't named yet, Dogpound and Fishface. And on this episode, Michelangelo actually names Dogpound. So now we know for sure that is his actual name. And basically, I love the fact that Dogpound has become even more dangerous now. Now they don't only have to worry about Shredder, but they have to worry about now his minions more so than they did before. Like, remember how Chris Bradford was a danger to them? But then they slowly started to figure out how to defeat him. And then now he's become Dogpound. He's even more powerful. And now they can't even figure out how to defeat Dogpound. And that is until the end of the episode, which we'll get to in just a sec. And the other thing is, of course, we didn't see Xever in this episode, so I'm assuming he's gonna come by or appear somewhere down the line, maybe next episode or the episode after that. So I'm looking forward to see how Xever plays into this, and of course he hasn't even got his robotic legs yet, so that's going to be intriguing to see how that unfolds. But back on track here with the episode. One thing that I found weird in the episode is that at one point in the episode they have April O'Neil. Basically, she's like, well, you've trained me greatly and everything, so I'm going to go and find out what Shredder's plan is, because they don't even know what they're in danger of at first. They know that there's a plan against them, some sort of a plan of attack, but they're not really certain of what it is. And April decides to kind of say, okay, I'm going to go in and find out. And they try to scheme the Foot Clan by just bringing them a pizza, and they just get ignored, which is kind of funny. And then I found it weird that April's like, well, okay, since they don't want the pizza, I'll just climb the building and get through the roof and everything. And it's like, couldn't one of the turtles do that? And why are we putting April in danger? She's a human and she's not yet trained to be an amazing ninja, especially because we haven't even seen her like do any type of cool ninja stuff, at least at this point. So why is she really sacrificing herself or putting herself in the danger of this? So I guess they're trying to progress her character, but at the same time it was one of those like head scratcher moments. But eventually she's able to scale the buildings and find like a little hole that she climbs through and crawls through, and then she's able to actually spy and hear what the Shredder's plan is. And his plan is to actually take a certain chemical. I don't remember the exact name of the chemical, but basically what they're going to do is that they're going to dump this chemical into the sewers and then just get rid of the turtles that way. The turtles and Splinter, because they know where the turtles are hidden, and that is in the sewers, but they're not sure exactly where, obviously. So their plan is to just blow up all the sewers. And the reason why this chemical works in the sewers is because it reacts to water, which is very important because it plays a role down the line within the face-off between Dogpound and Leo and Mikey. Now, once the turtles find that out, they're like, okay, well, now we got a plan of attack. Let's go after it. And basically, Dogpound and the Foot clan hijack a chemical truck, and they're on their way to dump this chemical. But on the way, the turtles actually use a brand new vehicle. Now, I thought that we are going to see the Shell Razor right away. We didn't. We actually saw this kind of like a go-kart combination thing of 4 go-karts that combine almost into like one cart. And it was actually pretty funny, like because they have these like release hatches that they could just press on, and then they separate into their own individual components. So you could have one for each turtle. And it was definitely a cool vehicle. I still want to see the Shell Razor. I'm like, they keep showing it in the intro, and we're 10 episodes into the show and we haven't seen it, so I'm excited to see it. Hopefully it's going to happen sooner rather than later, just because I want to see some cool stuff happening with the Shell Razor, and I think that's an awesome vehicle. So I'm excited about that. But this vehicle was also cool, and basically we had kind of like a high chase, hot pursuit type thing where the turtles are trying to chase down Dogpound and make sure that he's not able to dump the chemicals into the sewers, obviously. So, but what they realize is that in the process, actually, April gets kidnapped by Dogpound because he realizes that April is spying on them. Like, as she's climbing down the roof, she teleports to Leo to tell him what the plan is for Shredder. I should have mentioned that before. And Dogpound, because he's got better hearing now, which again showcases kind of his abilities, which I like because now it makes him more and more of a menacing threat. Dogpound basically hears her and kidnaps her and puts her inside the Foot Clan van or whatever, and they drive away. Or actually, I think it was the Purple Dragons, maybe? I think it was the Purple Dragons. Yeah, it was the Purple Dragons. With the Purple Dragons, and they drive away. So then it's up to the turtles to save April and stop the chemicals from being dumped into the sewers. So they split up into teams of 2. You got Donnie and Raph taking on going away to save April, and then you had Leonardo and Mikey take on Dogpound and making sure the chemicals stop. So it added even more intrigue in terms of like, will 2 turtles be able to stop Dogpound? They had a hard time before, but here you see how the turtles have actually matured and how Leonardo is able to step up to be the leader, even though he knows that Dogpound is dangerous and everything. He realizes that he needs to step up because, I mean, everyone is kind of starting to get scared, including Splinter. So it's up to Leo to keep things under control, so to speak. And he does a great job of commanding kind of a smart game plan against Dogpound this time around, where they realize, hey, we cannot out-muscle Dogpound. So we have to actually, use our brains and use some sort of a strategy to trick him into basically hurting himself or allowing us to be victorious. So they do a great job, him and Michelangelo, that is, of tricking Dogpound into the fight that would be beneficial to them. But the other cool thing was that I actually forgot to point that out. As they begin fighting Dogpound signifies to one of the Foot Clan, he's like, go dump the chemicals. So there's always like the sense of like, okay, but they can't just fight Dogpound because they got to be aware of the chemicals being dumped. So you saw Michelangelo like rush in and save and make sure that the chemicals don't get dumped into the sewers. And basically, it all boils down to Michelangelo. He uses water balloons throughout the entire episode. He keeps like throwing them at people's faces, and he ends up pulling out a water balloon. And what they do is they set up, they allow Dogpound to slash the chemical tank, and then it starts spewing everywhere. And at that moment, Michelangelo throws the water balloon, and of course, because the chemical reacts hazardously to water, it explodes, and down goes Dogpound. The situation is saved, and the turtles obviously celebrate. They've done a good job. Meanwhile, Donatello and Raphael were also successful at rescuing April, so all is good. And this was honestly a fun episode. I think that it was good because the last episode was so like, there was so much stuff that happened in the last episode. Like, we had 2 brand new villains created in Fishface and Dogpound. We had Shredder debut. We had a bunch of stuff happening in terms of like the Kraang and everyone. And then this episode was much more lighthearted, simple and fun, but at the same time, it presented Dogpound as an actual threat to the turtles and made him something that they actually have to consider. And it shows you that physically, at least at this point, they are unable to defeat Dogpound. So I found that to be cool, and the episode ended in a very cool way where they basically start eating pizza, and they're all excited that they were victorious and everything, and then they're like, what the hell, why is this pizza so stinky? And then Michelangelo, oh yeah, that's the pizza that April failed to sell to the Foot Clan, so she threw it in the garbage, but I'm gonna eat it. And that was definitely kind of a cool little joke there. And also, I like at the very end of the episode how Splinter, he kind of says, okay, no training anymore, which kind of shows you that he has almost like that concern of the beginning of the episode where he had this great concern that the turtles are completely not ready for Shredder and that they will not be able to take on Shredder or at this point Dogpound or Fishface or all these other dangers that they could potentially be put in front of, so that he needs to train them more. Now it's like he sees that as long as they work as a team and as long as they understand how to cooperate, they will be victorious and figure out a way to win no matter who it is that they're facing. So I found that to be cool. I found it to be very, very Turtle-esque in terms of the message that it's trying to pass across, and a very cool episode, definitely. So all that being said, guys, I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of episode number 10, Panic in the Sewers. I'd love to hear your opinions, thoughts, suggestions, whatever it may be. Of course, make sure to check out all the previous episode reviews, and make sure to check out the next episode reviews. The next episode is titled Mauser's Attack, which, of course, if you guys know from TMNT, the Mousers are very cool little robotic creatures, at least traditionally they are. So I really am going to be excited to see how they've implemented that. And of course, from what I remember, the Mousers were invented by Baxter Stockman, so that means that hopefully he's going to be making an appearance as well, because he hasn't been here for a little while already, right? It's been about I think 5 or 6 episodes since we've seen him. I think he was in episode 5 or 5. Yes, he was in episode 5, I believe. So it's been a little while, but I'm excited to see Baxter Stockman hopefully back. So I'll be back with another review for you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe, share the videos, and favorite the videos. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, and see you later.